जय बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरदारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरदारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरदारी यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनाजिरावनचारि 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 राधा माधव जय बिहारी राधा माधव जय बिहारी राधा माधव जय बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधा गोपीनाथ राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jerudarese Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavadinaishige Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Che Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagat Bade Govisa Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदेवनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुतदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचकल्पतरुभस्य कृपा सिन्धु वैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद षद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for this today's satsang. We'll talk about Ramayana, some important portion from Ramayana. We'll invoke this blessing of Valmiki Muni. Pujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Madhurachaham Arutya Kavida Sagam Mante Valmiki Gogilam Valmiki Muni Samyasya Kavida Vacharini Shrinvan Ramagada Nadam Gornadyadi Param Gadim. So, last time we discussed about Vishwamitra Muni. So, this time we'll discuss about from this. I'm taking all these from Subala's Prabhu book only, the first book of Subala's Prabhu. Now, today we'll discuss about that how that Ayodhya was, the kingdom was flourishing during Dasarath time, and what is the thing which we can invite from this, the previous the ruling of our Dasarath Maharaj. What are the things how he kept the citizens happy? All this we'll see today, and also we can see on how he was also changed when Dasarath Maharaj made some mistake. How he corrected the mistake so that it is not repeated again. Normally, it is a human tendency to make mistake, but we should learn from the mistake. We should not repeat the mistake again. So, from the story of Dasarath Maharaj, we also learn how Dasarath Maharaj has corrected the mistake which made, so it should not be repeated again. We'll see. So, it was described here that Ayodhya was protected from external as well as internal. From external thing, Ayodhya was protected by, they got lot of mounds. Mounds means a lot of like that. They dig a big this around the city. They make a tunnel like that. No, they make like a running river, so that they will keep the crocodile, all the wild animals, the aquatic things, they will keep it, so that they can't swim and come like that. And also protected by big walls and draggers, all these things they kept up. That is where the external thing, Ayodhya was protected. And also it is also stated, not only that, in order to, yes, that so much sophistication was there, even a person wants to do something harm, mentally also, that those instruments will detect. They will not be allowed to enter. So, and this is about the years kept. This is one of the about the external thing. About internal also, the Maharaj kept all the citizens very happy, so that nobody had any any bad thought about anybody, and they were having all virtuous things, everything they were following. That is what he was protected by internal as well as external enemies actually. So the Ayodhya was that city was planned in such a way, it was like a chess game board, the Astapadi. It was like a what is called a we can say like a square. Everywhere they go, they'll be leading to this the palace of our Dasarath Maharaj, like that. So it was all completely lighted, and always there was orchard was there was parks were there, and not only that, music was going in all the places. Wherever there was a meeting of street, is that junction was there, the music was always played there. So, and actually it was stated there, and is the floor, the palaces were actually, he had how many palaces? Subhalas stated there, 20 million palaces was there. The 20 million palaces were all made of sandalwood, rafters made of red gold, and walls of emerald. This is the description from the Ramayana actually. So that was the opulence Ayodhya was there at that time. And actually, it was abundant rain always. The seasonal rain was there. Normally, if a king was ruling nicely, it will rain. It will not rain during the day. Only night will be raining, so that the agriculture yield will be good and the people will be living, sleeping peacefully. They will be able to think about spirituality. All these things is there. So actually, that the Dasarath had a what is called now very high vision. Because of that, he had the two type of water storage system was there. One is of Deva Matra. Deva Matraka means they will depend totally on the rain. They will not do anything. If it rains, their harvest will be good. If there is no rain, there will not be much harvest like that. Another is called Nadi Matrika. Nadi Matrika means you will store. That is like what we are doing is present rain harvesting. You store the water in such a way it will last throughout many years. So it was described here. There was a drought for 12 years in Ayodhya once. At that time, because since Dasarath followed this Nadi Matrika system, the water was, no citizen felt a shortage of water for 11 years. At the end of 11 years, they came to know there is a water shortage. At that time, they told Dasarath Maharaj there is going to be a big crisis to do something for that. At that time, Dasarath Maharaj consulted, see that there is a difference between the present leaders and the previous leaders. Dasarath Maharaj came to know there is a problem. So he came to know from astrological thing, what is the problem for the reason for this particular seasonal rain happening in Ayodhya. He came to know the sun is looking at Ayodhya. When the sun is staring at something, that will be inauspicious. So they will not be able to match. So Dasarath took a decision. He went directly to the sunny planet. He started attacking the sunny. And actually, the sunny is so powerful. The sunny stared at Dasarath Maharaj from east planet. Immediately, Dasarath was going in a chariot. It fell. He was just collapsing on the ground actually. At that time, Jadayu happened to see the king fall. He came there and spread his wings like that. And actually, the entire chariot, along with his horses, everything fell on this Jadayu's wing. And Jadayu protected. Again, Jadayu said, let us go and fight along with Sunny. Again, they, along with the help of Jadayu, they again flew to Sunny Loga. The Sunny was so much happy, Dasarath with determination to fight with him. Then he turned his face away from Dasarath, from Ayodhya, and then there was rainfall. So this was one of the things. And one, we'll have to see now what are the things which make a person happy. So Dasarath was knowledgeable. So how he got a knowledge? By reading the scriptures. Dasarath become knowledgeable by reading scriptures. He crossed the ocean of enemies. That means he has got such a power with his ability as a Kshatriya, able to conquer all the enemies. And also, he crossed the ocean of vices. How person can avoid sins? This is described here only by spiritual practices. So only here we can understand that he crossed the ocean of knowledge. One is he has crossed the ocean of knowledge is one thing, and again is putting to practice is a different thing. For putting to practice, he should practice spirituality. Knowledge cannot be transformed into wisdom or realization unless you use it in a way, and also you do some spiritual practices. Why we are chanting this Hare Krishna mantra every day? Because that is the way to that is the way to control the mind. unless the mind is peaceful, a person will not be able to live peacefully in the material world and also not able to practice spirituality. That's why this Mahamantra is very potent. See, we ourselves can see for our own life. Because of the Mahamantra, to the extent our mind is little peaceful. Unless you have a peaceful mind, agitated mind, you will not be able to practice in either even spirituality, even the material things you will not be able to perform, because always the mind will be oscillating, it will be always moving forward, either the future or thinking about the past. It will never remain in the present. That's why with studying these Ramayana, we understand how the Dasharatha Maharaj is able to prosper because of this. And also it is stated now, just see what is the, we can understand those ages, how the people used to live. It is stated here, in Ayodhya, there was no log being sold in any shop. What does it mean? If the lock is not sold in any shop, means they will keep the house open. For some of you know about even this in Goa also, during the Portuguese time, that's what people used to say. They used to never lock the house. They used to keep the house open only, because there was no theft happening there. There were no thief. And another in Ayodhya, another aspect is nobody was a beggar. Because they were the Ayodhya, that Dasharatha used to give so much of the charity to the Brahmanas, all these deserving people. And that is one aspect. Dasharatha Maharaj used to give donation or charity like that. Another thing is, there was no need for people to do anything to why the people adopted stealing these days, why there are a lot of theft is there, because of unemployment. Dasharatha Maharaj kept everybody engaged. Everybody was busy doing some activity. They were earning the money. They were living peacefully. That was prosperous and self-sufficient. So now we understand from Dasharatha Maharaj, as always he goes to, in order to be a Kshatriya, he has to go for hunting. Dasharatha Maharaj was used to hunting. He was fond of hunting like that. One day in a mission of hunting, he went for a hunting, and a special type of Ayodhya at that time was sonic archery. Sonic archery means they will hear only the sound of the animal. Just hearing the sound of the animal, they shoot arrow. That was the practice. They were expert in that. They were proud that they are practicing sonic archery. So one day when Dasharatha Maharaj went, he happened to hear a sound of a lion or some elephant drinking water from a river. In that direction, he shot the arrow. When he released the arrow, and immediately as soon as that arrow hit the target, he got a human cry. The big howling was there, the scream was there. Then it went to lead into a cry, and finally after that it stopped. Dasharatha Maharaj went in that particular direction, happened to see a small boy, and was taking a water in a pot. In an earthen pot, he was taking water from the river. That sound is a ripple was there. That sound created wrong impression to Dasharatha Maharaj. It was a lion and elephant. When he came there and he asked actually that boy was asking, what is the mistake I did for me to be killed in such a manner like that? He was asking Dasharatha Maharaj. And then he narrates his story. I am taking this water for my elderly parents, mother and father, both are blind. And you give the water and tell them what has happened. Dasharatha Maharaj very fearfully entered this particular place. They were staying there, both the couple. And when the Dasharatha Maharaj entered the place, that parents came to know it is not my son's usual the steps which you see here. So they can find out, no, this is a different person. He was asking, who is the person who is coming? Then Dasharatha Maharaj, there is the entire story to the parents. I happen to kill your son. I am prepared to do anything for you. Tell me what you want. I am a king Dasharatha. Like that he said. And they could not control the loss of the son. No, they was very sad. At that time they cursed Dasharatha Maharaj, since I am dying without my son be present at the time of death, similarly, you will also experience the same pain. That's why when Dasarma left the this world, Lord Ram was not there. So Lord Ram was sent an exile. So that particular curse affected Dasar Maharaj. So Dasar Maharaj immediately comes to his kingdom, and after that he declared to this all this assembly, in future nobody should practice Soni Karchari. From that time it is banned. So actually, Dasar Maharaj had many achievements in his life. That's why he was a great king. But one thing we understand from Dasar Maharaj, whenever he had any kind of a problem, he used to always consult a Brahmana. That is the way in which they were living. It is not that they were able to become big king on their own. Since they are depending on the Brahmanas for the advice, they are also under the care and guidance of Brahmana, they were able to flourish very nicely. So now we'll see some of the amazing quality which they lived. See what happened now. Dasarath Maharaj was knowledgeable. We read, he read Vedas and all. He had a military science, full background, administration, everything was there. And he had a purity of mind and kindness and empathy. He was always considerate about his citizens on how the citizens should not suffer. He was not even taxing them. If that taxing is going to be burden the citizen, he was not taxing them. He was so much concerned. So you see that what are the people who are not existed in Ayodhya at the time? It is given here. Citizens were happy, pure, always truthful, and affluent. Jealous people, unscholarly people, ugly men, thieves, liars, atheists, Sikh had no place in the kingdom. So if you see why you understand why a person is getting a disease. You understand very nicely. When a child is born very happily. It doesn't have any disease. Normal child will not have a disease. This is very why we are getting diseases. Why you are getting always kind of sickness. All is happening because these are the things which are meeting the present day life. What is lying? There was no liar at all. There was no thief, and actually there was no atheist. Everybody had a faith in the God. See what is important. Yesterday or some days before, I listened to one of the Maharaj, maybe his Holiness Radhan Maharaj. He was telling very important factor is when a person with a faith in the scripture, a person who has realized, if he speaks, why we should listen to the pure devotee's message or his speech or his lecture, because the faith which he has got it can be transmitted from the sound vibration to our ear. For example, if we hear our Prabhu's lecture or His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj lecture, any of the Maharaj lecture, it is affecting us a change of heart because their faith, what they had in their what they are talking not with just a scholarly basis or based on the knowledge. They're speaking based on the faith in the scriptures and also the faith in there is no previous acharyas, because of their wisdom is transferred to them. Since we hear their particular lecture, the entire previous acharya lecture is carried forward from the beginning with Krishna actually. That's why many professional Prabhupadas want us not to listen to the professional people lecture because they don't have faith. They'll be talking. See, as a parrot, people can talk, be a lecture. But whether you have to find out whether living up according to what they were preaching. Very important is one is achar and prachar. Prachar is anybody can give a lecture for others. Achar means whether they are implementing in their own life, they're living up to that. For example, in the Prabhu's life, he became an acharya because he practiced what he preached actually. That's why many people are convinced because of Prabhu's simplicity and his childlike nature. He was innocent. He was talking the truth, and he was not doing anything hiding like that. So some of the gurus know they will not give the mantra. You should mantra should be given only a year. All this, and they should even charge for the mantras for giving initiation to disciple. They should charge. Prabhupada, his concern was, Prabhupada's concern, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to take, like Nityananda Prabhu wants to take everybody from this material world to the spiritual world. That was true compassion. True compassion is give the Krishna to everybody. We see, since the Krishna is such an infinite, we will not be able to reach Krishna on our own, because of that tapasya, that austerity and all, very difficult for us to keep it for a long time. We will not have determination long time. Because of the spiritual, the potency of this, our spiritual master, and which is coming Guru Parampara, their potency is very powerful. That has got effect to transfer us. Actually, the Prabhupada also, when he went to Jaladut, he was praying, Krishna, make me a puppet. Let me speak in a way they can understand. So, lot of empowerment by listening to this kind of Maharaj lecture, pure devotee lecture, the empowerment come to us. What is empowerment? Empowerment is their blessing come to us. Because of the blessing, we'll be able to understand something, the complicated nature. That's why he stated here, if a person is very knowledgeable, he is very intelligent, and he can, he can do some kind of achievement, all these things are there. But without that transformation of the heart, through this kind of purification process, by hearing from authorized person, then only it will affect our heart. Otherwise, it remains in the head level only. It remains maximum in the, we have got a knowledge. The knowledge cannot be implemented because there is some block. Because for example, we can understand, one follows, everybody knows stealing is not good. But still, the lot of theft is happening place, and police arrest them and put him in jail also. The person who is having wisdom, understand, even if a got an opportunity to steal and take somebody's property, he will not take it. Because he knows what is the consequences. He knows the law of karma. You know how it affects us. If he want to keep his heart always pure, some kind of self-restraint is required. Self-restraint can come only if you hear from a person who is practicing that. Because somebody is practicing what he is preaching to others, but you will be able to understand this particular person is preaching what is practicing what is preaching. Then people have understand there is a meaning in that. Otherwise, there is no meaning in what he is speaking. So Dasarath's leadership was amazing. As I told you, Dasarath has got a big council, ministers, councillors. They were actually, he has got 8 ministers. I will read the minister's name, and I will also go through what are the things they are specialized in. One is called Drishti, Jayanta, Vijaya, Saurashtra, Rasra, Vardhana, Akoba, Dharmapala, Sumatra. Sumatra is like a chief minister. That is chief, not chief minister. Minister. He is a chief minister. The king is a previous year chief minister. Different. Previously, he was of all the ministers, he was chief. He was chief minister. So now, and actually, when you see the integrity of purity of the minister, you will be astonished. They were all pure mind with great integrity. And actually, you see, they were learned, affluent, modest, and apprentice men with exemplary skill. They were not lacking anything. And more than that, they love the king like anything. They were even though they were working and getting a salary from the king, they were not doing only for charity, only for salary. They were doing out of love for the king and also for the citizens. They were resourceful, and they will take quick action. When there is a problem, it is stated here, when there is a trouble, immediately they attend to the trouble. They will not postpone anything. If somebody is having some problem, they can right away go to the particular minister and tell him what is the problem. Let us see each of the minister's role in the beginning. One is called Drishti. Drishti means he has got a vision. He is a person who give vision to Dasar Maharaj. He gives how it has to be planned. All these things he will give. Foresighted, and he is an architect of Ayodhya's fortune. He designs what is very, very important for Ayodhya, and accordingly, Dasar Maharaj implemented it. Vijaya means a victory. He always led the army for victory. That the minister is called Vijaya. Jayananda literally means who ensures victory, ensures that victory remains. See, it is stated here, a person can become victory once he can obtain a victory. But actually, victory should remain. It should be a continuous. It should not be broken. This particular minister ensures victory always comes in the Jayananda. Saurashtra, responsibility to keep the royal treasury full, collecting taxes from entire citizen on time, ensuring the financial stability of the state. This is also very important. It doesn't tax too much also. Like it is stated here, like a bee collects the honey from a flower. So during Dasara time, nobody pinched that I have to pay a tax. It was just like ordinary, just like you're going and buying some provision, routine thing like milk, sugar, everything we're getting. Like that, they used to pay the taxes without any much trouble. Siddhartha was responsible for fulfilling all the needs of citizens and king. He knew the art of resource management. He kept everyone happy. At the same time, ensured that state resources were not depleted. That's very, very important. One is income, another is expenditure. He planned in such a way there was not entire treasury was not emptied. He was just seeing that there were resources always, treasury was always full. At the time, he was meeting all the needs of the citizens also. Akoba, this is very, very important. Akoba means one who does not allow the grief or lamentation. If anybody has got any kind of problem, directly they can approach this minister Akoba. He will see to that your problem is solved immediately. See, mine, it is also stated here, when a person is having a lot of difficulty, it is also stated very many times. Emotionally, he wants to talk about his problem to somebody. Whether you be able to solve the problem or not solve the problem is different. You want to burden his heart to somebody. He wants to reveal his heart to somebody by explaining what are the problems. If somebody hears these Akopa duties, he will go and hear all the problem. Whether he is able to resolve the problem or that is next stage. Most of the citizens are happy only by listening to them. This particular department is kept only for listening to the citizen. Anybody has got problem, they can come to the particular ministership and give them the problem. One person will be allotted for hearing. After hearing that, he will also give solution. So by that, citizens are guaranteed. They need not worry about that my problem is unresolved. Everybody's problem is resolved immediately. Then Dharmapala, mean one who guides according to Dharma or truth. See, very important is for a person who is doing administration or person who is guiding these people, he has to follow the Dharma. He never saw to that no adharma was done in any of the dealing with this king. That is a particular. Sumandra was the oldest and wisest head of his cabinet. He was Dasaratha's confidant, a natural leader and simplest of all ministers. He commanded great respect and his words were considered as absolute truth. Actually, here you see, Sumandra, even though he was a chief minister, he was also a chariot driver of Dasaratha Maharaj. So, it is explained now. Normally, when a person is having lot of post, lot of power, he will not do any humble service actually. You want to protect his designation and post. He has to be having some status. But like Lord Krishna was driving as a chariot of our Arjun. He was not, even though it was a humble menial position, he did not feel ashamed that I am a chariot driver like that. But here also, Sumandra as a chariot driver of Dasaratha Maharaj, when he goes there, he does actually, Subhalasura explained, when he was doing a job of a chariot driver, he was not talking anything or administration with Dasaratha Maharaj. His role is totally different. When he goes to a chariot driver, he does particular job, meticulously focused like that. When he became a chief minister, he used to give advice. And one of the quality of the Sumatra is, he will not give advice unless it's sought. The very important, even though you got a capacity to give, unless somebody asks your advice, you should not give. That is he was. That's why he was liked by the citizens as well as king, Sumatra. In addition to that, in addition to the 8 ministers, there were 2 Brahmanas who were advising Dasaratha Maharaj. One is called Vasishtha, his family guru, and also Vamanadev. Both were expert in religious thing. That's why it is stated here that that's why the Dasaratha Maharaj, tangible and intangible. Tangible, all properties, the kingdom, entire kingdom, all these become tangible. Intangible assets like a nice quality like that. We are discussing about that now, like truthfulness, dharmic, and all these things quality, right? Yes, all these things were also taken out of the 8 ministers and the 2 Brahmanas. Because of that, Dasaratha had no fear. Why these days you see what is happening around this world here? These many things are happening because they're listening only to the mind to the extent they listen to the intelligent. They are not giving anybody outsiders wisdom. They are not taking at all. For example, dictatorship. What is the dictatorship? He decide whatever he does good for the people, he will do it. Nobody can question him. Previously, the monarch was there. Even though Dasaratha Maharaj is a monarch, he can do anything. He has got right to do without asking anybody. On his own, voluntarily accepted these 8 ministers and 4 Brahmanas for him advice. You know, for an individual person to take decision, sometimes it is being emotional. Sometimes it becomes sentimental. And our decision cannot always be this one go correct because we are affected by 4 kind of defects. Here is human, and we always live in illusion. We got imperfections, and on the top of that, we want to propensity to cheat others. Propensity to cheat others. Now, in the process, we are cheating ourselves. So Dasaratha Maharaj kingdom was flourishing because he depended on these 8 ministers and 2 Brahmanas for his advice. And there he was accepting the suggestion, not that Dasaratha Maharaj will take the suggestion and he will do whimsically. It's not that. Because whatever and another thing, what we have seen, these 8 ministers are loyal to the king. It is not that they have got some ulterior motive, in order to get some benefit, they change the policy. It is not like that. It's like what is happening in the political system is not like that. Previously, they were so much, everybody is concerned about this karma. They were worried about life after death. These are the things, parameters, which are guiding them. The present, because of this situation, because people got lot of the bookish knowledge, and also the way in which education system is going on. Nobody teaching all these values in the schools and colleges today. They are giving only the Artha, Kama, Moksha. Only the 4 aspects of the normal life people are teaching. And because since that now previously, the teachers, you have seen the teachers of our Vasishtha, Vamanadev, their caliber is totally different. And it is also stated here, one of the important thing I will talk about is the person who is a Brahmana, previous how they were living. Brahmanas were living by donation. They were living by donation. That too, very important factor we understand. This Subhalas writes in the book. When they're accepting donation also, Brahmanas were choosy. If somebody gives donation, like that, you will not accept it. You will see to that whether his source is, his money has come from proper source. If that money has come from what is called adharmic source, not from normal dharmic source, you will reject it. That is the extent which they were there. Even if somebody give donation, they were rejecting it. So many particular stories that they may starve, they may die also, but they will not deviate from the principle. That was the discipline they had. So that's why when a person want to be live happily, what has to be respected is his earning has to be nice, nice source should be there, and he should be in a position to spend for the right purpose. So here we see that Dasaratha Maharaj has got 2 ministers. One minister is collecting money, resources for taxing the people. Another person is expenditure. Expenditure person also will see to that he doesn't, since he has got a money, he would not lavishly spend in parties like that. He will require each money, paisa was spending, he was thinking whether it's required. Only which is required, only it is used for dharmic purpose, he will spend it. Otherwise, you will not just for sense gratification, they never used to spend. And actually, we also see how that music was going on around all this important places, junction is happening because when a person listen to the music, especially the music which is not, which is soothing to the soul, which is pleasing to the ear, like that, no, very melodious thing. If they sing, most of your problem of your mental tension is resolved. Why people have got mental tension? Because mind is not peaceful. For controlling the mind, the music is the soothing effect is there to the mind. That's why nowadays the people started even also music therapy is also there. Because by just playing a right kind of music, your mind can be tamed. A person who doesn't even sleep also can get a sleep. So normally when children go to sleep normally, they normally sing some melodious song. But just listen to naturally they go to sleep. Similarly, actually in a way we sick, even though we are elderly people or adults there, still we have some kind of a, it's some kind of a tension, anxiety, fear, so many things, unforeseen incidents. So we are always, some thoughts are coming in the mind. When music is played, automatically you will forget about all this, your worry and all. You will come to the present situation, your mind will be peaceful, then you can do some positive aspect. That's the difference between this the Western music and the what is called our Indian music system is that Western music system is just agitate the mind by just banging like that, creating such a sound. Already our mind is agitated. If added to the sound also, mind agitate. But this kind of Carnatic music, all this music, has got a tendency to just calm down the mind so that it become peaceful and we concentrate some higher purpose of life. So as I told initially, unless our mind is peaceful, we will not be able to, materially we can't do anything. Spiritually is impossible. That's why this Prabhupada has given this Hare Krishna mantra, in a way, we can experience on our own that particular Hare Krishna mantra is how he is affecting us. So even though the Dasarath Maharaj is such a king, he doesn't have time. He was taking out the time for practicing spirituality. We have seen he was knowledgeable, he was powerful, but he was practicing spirituality just to keep a balance. A person can be good for one day, but he has to remain good throughout his life. Some practice has been done. But the Prabhupada also says simple practice only. The chanting Hare Krishna mantra is simple. By the process of the simple, what happened? No? Your mind become very peaceful. The mind actually, for an entire body, whatever system, the mind is the thing which induces all the action in our body. So if mind, the ultimate root cause for all that problem is mind. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, if you make your mind as a friend, it will be very good for you. Otherwise, mind will become your enemy and it will affect you, it will destroy you. So that's why, because of causeless mercy of Prabhupada, the process of Hare Krishna mantra is very, very beautiful. It has saved us from many calamities which are faced in our life. So one of the calamities what we are facing is this one of old age disease, old age disease and birth. All the four problems are there. But coming out of this problem is very difficult. But yesterday also I was listening to one of the Maharaj lecture. So actually, at the time of death, very difficult to remember Krishna at the time. Anta kalecha maam vegas paranmukta kalivaram. Difficult to remember Krishna at the time. That's why the Prabhupada has given the process. Just by hearing this lecture, this kind of lecture from a pure devotee like Prabhupada or Maharaj, if you listen to lecture, some in your core of a heart, some spiritual things would have entered in your mind. Suddenly at the time of death, you will have that particular reflection only in your at the time of death. See, actually, there is a story. Ramanujacharya asked Kanchipurna to ask Varadaraj, because Kanchipurna used to talk to Lord Varadaraj, every day. Ramanujacharya suddenly got a doubt. So you go and ask Varadaraj, but if a person not able to remember the time of death, for this particular question is asked by Ramanujacharya, he goes and asks Varadaraj. Varadaraj say, Ramanujacharya need not worry about that. I will make him to remember me at the time of death. This assurance Krishna has given. So once a person surrenders to him, that it is responsibility of Krishna to make us remember him at the time of death. Such a simple process, and the only thing we keep listening to, because why we listening chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, without a knowledge we are building our spiritual bank balance. And this particular bank balance, we can withdraw only at the time of death. You can't make in between. In between, some withdrawal here and then you can make. Some kind of a calamity will escape, some kind of disease will escape. All this is small thing. Final test will come to know only at the time of death, that nobody will come to know. Nobody can come. Like Prabhu gives an example, if two planes are flying in the same the aerospace, and if one plays in trouble, another plane cannot go and help him. That plane has to survive on its own. Similarly, each soul, we are just like a flying to Krishna Loka. So many accidents, so many calamities will come. If you keep chanting Hare Krishna mantra, listening to lecture, whatever spiritual practice, whichever within our means, if you are able to practice sincerely, Krishna will assure you at the time of death, he will come and make us remember and take us to the spiritual world. So that much faith we should have. So what is important is, Prabhupada also said, yesterday, one of the devotees was telling, that there were two persons who was going, one guru gave one mantra to two disciples. They were supposed to cross a river, Yamuna river. So don't worry about that. That boys were crying, So Guru, I have to reach, I'm already late. Give me some help, just make me to cross the river. He said, I will give one mantra, keep it with you, you go. So he returned some mantra given to both the disciples. One fellow took that mantra in his hand. He was walking. The water he was walking. Actually, the water was giving way. He was able to cross. And another fellow doesn't have faith in the mantra. He sat on the boat. The person who was walking in the water suddenly thought, mantra, he gave very nice mantra. Let me, he was almost in the middle of the river. Let me open and see what is it in mantra. He just opened and saw it was written wrong. So only this much small mantra is given. Like that, he began to doubt the mantra, what Guru has given. He immediately sank and died. So what is important when you become practice spirituality, we have understood with our knowledge, with our examples, with our own practice, the Krishna holy name will act on us. If you develop the faith, that's all. That we can leap big. We can assume almost we reach Krishna Loka. If the faith is not there, then even though you can achieve everything, actually that particular disciple almost crossed the 50% of the river. But if he has not opened you to a cross, moment a person lose the faith. Why we are having the association, all these things, in order to increase our faith. By listening to Radhana Swami Maharaj, by listening to Prabhupada and all, they got such a faith in the holy name. They were practicing throughout their life, and they motivated many people. They are practicing. Many people who are with different anarthas. They came out of the anartha. These are more than that. What do you want? They will see what is you saw in front of you. Many people are having many anarthas, getting recovered from the anarthas. Or we ourselves, in example, we had many anarthas. Some of the anarthas we are already shunned. So that means the process is working. So we should keep the process, the same process, the same faith going on. That's all. Rest assured, everything will. That's why Prabhupada insists that we should have association of like-minded person who has got faith in the holy name and faith in the scriptures, faith in the words of these sadhus. You have to move with those people. If you move with, what is the problem of hearing with these professional people mean? They are talking only without any practical experience on themselves, because they don't have their own practices. Sometimes they themselves have doubt. If they preach anything with the doubt also will come enter you. If a person is speaking with faith, that faith will enter you through the system. These are all the subtle thing we can't understand. But the person, for example, the Prabhupada, when he chants this Hare Krishna mantra, is very potent. A person who is here for the first time getting attracted to the transcendental sound. Why? Because he has got so much potency in his holy name. He has got so much faith. Similarly, if you also remind the process of what Prabhupada taught us, our life is already successful. We almost reached 50% of the river. We have to cross another 50%. If you continue with the same faith, 100% will reach the Golok Vrindavan, this life itself. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hari Bol. Prabhuji, will stop now.
Okay, Prabhuji. Very elaborately explained, Prabhuji. Very nice class, wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.